It's a blessing. Rehearsal race, so we come back later and do it better. This is it. One shot, one time. This is it. Amen. And so they sat him down and they said, Jesus, what's going to happen? And he went through this long thing, and I won't get into wars, and you'll be persecuted and so forth, and there'll be earthquakes and famines, and all these things are coming. Yep. He said that's what's coming. But then he started in verse number 32 with a word that I think we need to zero in on. He said, now. If I say now. See, don't worry about tomorrow. Let's talk about right now. What are we supposed to do right now? He said, learn a parable from the fig tree. Well, there you go. You've lost me already. The Bible's so hard to explain. Well, I get this part, but thou shalt not steal. That's pretty easy, right? Okay, well, let's just don't try. So, learn a parable of the fig tree. He says, when its branches already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. You also, when you see all these things, know that this is near and at the door. What is at the door? Everything I just spoke to you. When you see the fig tree bud, and he went on to say, this generation. What generation? The generation that sees the fig tree bud will know that these things are about to happen. Well, the fig tree has always been symbolic of the nation of Israel. And now, see, what people don't understand is up until 1948, if you were to look on a globe or a world map, there was no such place called Israel. That's right. Because in 70 AD, every Jew was scattered to the four corners of the earth. And in 1948, they all led by the Holy Spirit. They don't know that, but they were led by the Holy Spirit to march into Jerusalem. And in a 6-day war, they took back their country. 3/4 of them couldn't even speak the same language. They were outnumbered 18-1, and they still won. You know why? Because God be for us, who can be against us? And so in 1948, the nation of Israel became, again, the fig tree budded. That's when the clock started ticking. And this is important because that happened in 1948. What year is it now? 2018. So we're 60 years, 70 years past that. 70 years we're into this list of things that's coming. And so then he went on to say something that stuck in my mind. Next page. He began to point out right after this saying, he said, then there'll be, in Luke's gospel, I'm going to skip ahead, but he said that, I'll tell you that not in that night, there'll be 2 men in one bed. One will be taken, the other left. 2 women will be grinding together, and one will be taken and the other left. 2 men will be in the field, and one will be taken and the other left. What is he saying? He said, at night, there'll be 2 people sleeping in the bed, and one of them will just disappear. In the morning, when they go to grind meal, there'll be 2 at the meal, and one will be taken and one left. And in the afternoon, when they're in the field, 2 will be out there in the field and one left. It means that on the earth right now, it's always morning, afternoon, or evening all the time, somewhere. He said in one moment, in the twinkling of an eye, there's going to be something happen. It's going to snatch folks out of here. And so if the clock was ticking in 1948, how much closer do you think we are to these events? Right? Yes. Next page. He said to them, then watch therefore, for you do not know what hour your Lord is coming at. I didn't plan on you being here today, and I'm not doing this just for you. How many of you know this is not my normal thing? But I was so prompted by the Lord that, again, it may not be for y'all. It may be for this group right here. I just know that as a minister of the gospel, I got to shout this morning because I ran into a guy in the gym, and he made a statement. I'll tell you in a minute, but it just shook me. I thought, you know what? That's exactly what's going on. He said, watch. Everybody say watch. What does the word watch mean? It means literally this. Wake up. Wake up. Slap yourself and wake yourself up that this is not going to keep going on and on and on. And what you're doing does matter. And how you're living does matter. There are people watching you every day of your life. You're either a light or a dark place to every person you run into. You've got to decide which one you're going to be. Next page. Good. But as the days of Noah were, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. What is that like? And that's the phrase that got me, because I thought, because that's how it is. Eddie, that's really how it is as the days of Noah, because next thing, see, in the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking and having weddings, and basically they were all about the social things. Come on. That's all we did was that. And I sat down with Corey Friday night, and he's talking about how the trouble he had with his generation of youth. And I said, let me ask you something, Corey. In your lifetime, how many pictures of yourself have you taken? 0. I had never taken, except I took my first selfie at age 55, and my last selfie at age 55. At the pride of my children. It's on my Instagram account. It has one photo on it. It's my first and only selfie. I don't use it. But we are all about the social media, even though it has made us more antisocial than anything ever. Hasn't it? Yeah. We're more reserved and sunk back in their thing. And, now this show Catfish. You ever seen that? That's some of the dumbest people on the planet. Well, I love him. I haven't seen him in 5 years. Every time I set up to meet him, he comes down with cholera or leprosy or something and can't make it. How dumb are you? We're so desperate that we live in such a fantasy world. And I'm just telling you that in those days, it had never rained. They didn't know what rain meant. Noah said, God spoke to me. Really? Yeah. Water's going to fall from the sky. From the sky, really? So mist came up and watered the place. They never understood what that was. And then Noah went out in the middle of a desert and started building a boat. And it took him 100 years. You think he wasn't the joke and the laughing stock of everything? It's like every time somebody made a mistake, they said, boy, you sure know it that. Right? Well, you look like a Noah there. His whole life. And I'm just going to tell you something. This is what Jesus said about our times. He said that as it was in the days of Noah, that means that evidently there'll be one sole voice, it seems, fighting against this whole mass of carnality and worldliness, trying to lead people to the truth. Because I'm going to tell you, it's crept into the church so deeply that it's like we're so carnal and so worldly and so we just drip of the flesh, and what the world's got to have is an encounter with the Holy Spirit. Not with our programs and our lattes. They need to come in contact with something that maybe abrades them a little bit.
It's rewinding.
The third thing you know what the days of Noah is there's no respect for the word of God. They didn't care what Noah said. You know what he said God said. That's right. No respect. It's like today, I'm telling you what, nothing moves anybody. It's like that our conscience has been seared with a hot iron and we can't seem to prick any emotion, any kind of response. When I found out, I was a professional sinner. I was really good at it. And I bragged about my lack of need for God. But when I came in contact with His presence, He broke me like a child. Amen. I wept on my face before Him. I repented for the fact that it was me that sent Him to the cross. And to be honest with you, I just don't see that anymore. Where is any godly sorrow for the cross and for Calvary? It's just gone. Right. Because it's all about God blessing us and healing us and answering our prayers and making us feel good about ourselves. Right now in education, we're bumping the bottom of the bin, except for the new teachers we got in Kevin and all you new breed. Amen? I'm with you on that. I want to tell you something. What's happened over the last generation, we didn't care about reading, writing, and arithmetic. We just wanted Junior to feel good about himself. So we gave participation trophies out. Even though you didn't show up for practice and only showed up on game day, we'll still give you a trophy. What did that tell the kid that got there early and practiced all week and worked hard and it mattered to him when he won and lost? When you give a trophy to somebody that doesn't care, then it makes his kind of cheap and plastic and of no value. Number 4. Men in those days, this is going to sound ridiculous to you, and I can't really explain it except this is what happened. It said back in I think it's 6th chapter of Genesis 3, 4, 5, and 6. It said that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and that they were fair, and they came in unto them. That's what it says in King James. Right. Well, the sons of God, up until the new covenant, were the angels. Amen. So fallen angels were coming into human people and having children. It said that because of that, that's where the giants came from in that day. And that sounds like hokey, it sounds like some sort of video game to you. And I can't explain except for the fact that you might say, well, that's not happening today. You don't know it's happening. No. See, the greatest, everybody's worried about the men on the grassy knoll and JFK. The biggest cover-up in our time right now is the work of Satan in this world. Yeah. We just don't believe he exists anymore. They're telling the Bible college now that what Jesus termed as demon possession was really mental illness. Well, Jesus never got that memo. So he's just running right underneath the covers and he's just tormenting us. Well, it says in those days that because of that, listen, why was it that God chose Noah? It wasn't because Noah was perfect. It said because in his family, none of that had crept in. See, this was Satan's attempt to poison the seed that was promised in the Garden of Eden. If I can somehow weave myself into this, then there's no way the seed of Adam can deliver the sons of men. Come on. Okay. But Adam said that he was perfect in his generations. Right. And so I just want you to know that that's the first place that grace, the word grace is used in the Bible, is that Noah found grace in the sight of God. Yes. Why did Noah find grace in the sight of God? Because Noah sanctified himself and set himself apart. So I think I can say pretty accurately that grace is looking for sanctification. It's seeking sanctification. And here's what it said about it. Y'all still with me? Genesis 6? That's good. So Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. And this is the genealogy of Noah. Watch this. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God. There are three things that I think characterize what we as Christians in our generation. The reason I'm saying this now is I'm tying the old covenant to the new, because Jesus is the one that said this. He says, as it was in the days of Noah, so it shall be. So evidently there's something that is going to be a characteristic of both times that we need to know about. Next page.
Come on. Good.
Noah was just. Everybody say just.
Just.
You know, that what my dad taught me when I was a little boy. Every time we borrowed something, we'd always clean it up and fill up the tank before we gave it back. That's right. We always gave it back better than the way we got it. We always, my son, Mark, one day he made a comment about me, and it's just because it stuck with me. I go to a gym where they require you to spray down and wipe down your equipment and put your weights back up. How many people do you think do that? Nobody. About 5 out of 100, but I do it. You know why? Because it's on my contract. Because that's what they told me to do. So every time, even though I'm tired and I've done a really hard set, and I put my stuff up because that's what I was told to do. That's what I was taught to do. You know what? Just means that I'm right morally and legally. Okay. If you don't think it matters, let me tell you something. Whatever you dabble in, parents, your kids will max out. Whatever you let in the door, they're going to have in a greater way than you can possibly imagine. Number 2, he was perfect. It means all this. You look behind you, I want you to, it says complete, entire. He had moral integrity. He walked in truth. He was without blemish. What does that sound like to you? Full, perfect, upright, and undefiled. Like that church he's coming back for without spot or blemish. Is that ring true? There's a place in our life, in our history, that God wants us to occupy. And he doesn't want us to be just like everybody else that's bumping down the street. He wants us to step into a place of integrity and be the bride of that spot or blemish that he's coming back for. Yes, sir. And when you do that, you're going to be all alone. And you're not going to be popular anymore. People are not going to want to do stuff with you because you're going to present to them a presence that will convict them of things that are not right in their life. That's it is convicting you. And you don't have to do it by saying, you need to fix this. That's not the presence. No. That's you being church lady. Yeah. Right. And the third thing is that he walked with God. He walked with God. He walked with God. He didn't have a religion. He had a relationship. Yeah. Well, I got a religion. If you don't have any place in your life for intimacy and time alone with him, you just got a religion. Yeah. You just show up on Sunday and you do your own thing, pay your tithe and whatever, and you come in here and maybe feel warm, fuzzy or whatever and go back out. But if it doesn't follow you out the door and go home with you, then you just got a religion. That's right. We're here to stir up the relationship you've already got with him. We're here to help push you forward and higher, not to create it for you every week. To follow God in the days of Noah meant you stood against the crowd. You faced ridicule and persecution. What you believed was not popular and certainly not accepted socially. You were considered to be a nut by the overwhelming majority that found it perfectly acceptable to sleep with the devil, even if it destroyed their children. My question is, if this is how it's supposed to be before Jesus comes back, who is Noah? Who's going to be Noah? Next page. You know what? We live in a microwave society. Who would say, I can't wrap my head. Can you wrap your head around the fact that, like, even watching that movie and watching Stephen Carell try to build that ark by himself, it was the most daunting. I mean, I had trouble with crown molding. He had beams as big as me. That he was putting together with wooden dowels, and I'm thinking, and it took 100 years, he and his family, to build what you're looking at.
Wow.
100 years.
That's amazing.
What does that tell you? Maybe you've got to stick with it a little longer. Maybe it's going to be a little difficult. And maybe you're going to have to just suck it up and say, you know what? Nothing in my hands I bring, simply to your cross I cling. Some of that old-timey stuff, Oprah came out and said it was ridiculous. Oprah's the new Messiah, for the New Age folks. She's already telling them that Jesus couldn't possibly be the only way.
Wow.
Better watch out.
Wow.
Next page. This is what the guy said to me in the gym. He said, it's all sizzle and no steak. Today's new religion, new church is all sizzle. There's no steak in it. Like I told him, my little brother got let go from the church because he used too much scripture.
Wow.
Does anybody understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You're living in a time when it's a whole lot easier and more convenient. We'll have church whenever you want it. You just come. In fact, I'm thinking about setting up a drive-through window. You just drive through and look at something, and drop in your money and leave, and 10 minutes tops, you're out. What do you think? Be open all day, 24 hours a day. And you can just come by and do your little religious thing. What do you think?
No cover charge.
That'd work, wouldn't it? How many of you know God's expecting more of us right now? And perhaps some more than ever before. If it was time in 1948, how much closer are we to the return? And he said it'd be like, he said things will be going on and nobody will ever notice when I come back. It won't be like there's some tragedy or that Bin Laden's been resurrected. He'll be usually tooling along buying something for the wedding. Right. And next thing you know, it'll be gone. And this is what got me, is that, everybody says they're a Christian. You know what Jesus said about it? You know how you could tell a Christian back in his day? They followed him. It was easy to spot. Wherever he went, they went. The ones that got tired or offended, they dropped off. The ones that had some other motive for being with him dropped off when that need stopped getting met. I see people all the time that they've got a jailhouse religion, or they've got, they're in trouble and they run to Jesus because they're in drugs or alcohol or whatever. As soon as the problem is gone, so are they.
There you go.
Right. Yeah.
And if you think this is outdated and not for you, let me tell you something. One day, when you wake up and somebody you know love God's not there, that'll be the time you'll be thinking, man, I should have listened. That's all I want to say. Well, here's the thing he said after all this, and listen to me carefully. He said, who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his master made ruler over his household, to give them food in due season? But listen to me. Blessed is that servant, the faithful servant, whom his master, when he comes, will find so believing.
Yeah.
Nope.
Faith.
No. This is the part that struck me so hard, Ken, is that, we put so much emphasis on faith, and as long as you believe it, you believe it, say it, confess to your mouth, you say, well, you know what he said? I'm going to bless the ones that I find doing what I say. That's where my anointing is going to be. Not only the ones that claim to know me or say they know me, but the ones that are still following me and doing what I tell them to do. That's where my anointing is going to be. In Romans 13:11, he said, do this knowing the time, that now it is high time to what? Wake up. Awake out of sleep, for now. Everybody say now. Our salvation is nearer than when we first believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Therefore, let us cast off the works of darkness. Let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk properly as in the day. Not in, and this is what it literally means in the Greek, ready? Not in getting drunk and sleeping around and demonstrating a total lack of self-control. That does not represent the church.
Okay.
That's what it said. Not in strife or in envy, but put on. Everybody say put on. Put on. You know, I put this shirt on today. It didn't fly out of the closet and jump on me. I actually put it on purpose. You know why? Because this is what I wanted to wear.
Okay.
If you want to wear Jesus, put him on. It doesn't just happen.
That's right. That's the truth.
You want to do the right thing. You just have to do it. Because it matters to you. That's why. You know how you can stop the devil from running your life? Get him out of your house! Quit shopping for him! Don't send him a place setting at dinner. That's how you get him out. You make no provision for him. If you don't provide for him to mess in your life, so many times, it's like the woman said, I was going to die, and I just knew that God wanted me to get in shape and whatever, and sure enough, I'm driving by that Krispy Kreme sign. Hot, fresh. I said, Lord, if it's your will for me to have a dozen chocolate covered, let her space and open up right in front, and after I circle 7 times, the place finally opened up. Wait on the Lord, hallelujah. Is that right? How many times have you had those stupid conversations with yourself? Lord, if you want to do it. Well, don't you know the devil knows exactly how to shove it right there underneath your hand and make it easy for you, right? But if we make no provision, if we decide today, I'm getting this out of my life. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to honor God. Right. He went to the cross for me. Surely I can live for him. Yes. Next page. Amen. Last one. 1 Corinthians 15:33. He said, do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits. Some of you, you know what? I don't care how strong you are. How much you want to do this. When you get around the wrong crowd, you're not going to be able to live right. Now again, you know what, I'm telling you something, I'm a big grace guy. I believe in the grace of God. That it was all what he did at Calvary. But I cannot escape the commands in our covenant that tells us that we should live a certain way. I can't get past it. It's like God says, I've got you in me, but I need you to go get them. And the only Jesus they're going to see is you. And if you're not following me, then they won't know you're a Christian.
That's right.
And they won't know what to compare you to. And all that guy's the world. So if you're not different from the world, I'm getting some Morse code. Krispy Kreme calling my name. I said it last week, but it's like bum. We've seen it all here. Do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits. Awake to righteousness. Wake up. You know what you need to wake up to? You need to wake up to the fact that you're righteous. Amen. If you're born again, you're righteous. You're not trying to get there. But you need to let that shine. You need to let him develop the fruit of his character in you so that people can see and know that you're different than the people that they're with. Why is this important? Because we're screeching toward a finish line when we're going to be gone. And let me tell you something. It's like hell is forever.
Yes.
Sharon and I went to see this display one time of the Titanic in Nashville, Tennessee, and they had, they gave you a name when you walked in there, and you didn't find out till you were done when you walked through the exhibit to find out whether or not you were one of the survivors or the one that perished. Wow. And in that room, they had this wall of ice, and they said, "You'll put your hand on that ice and see how long you can stand it." And that's 32 degrees, and the water was 29. Because it's salt water, it freezes at a lower temperature. Yeah. I couldn't hold my hand on there for a second. And suddenly, it became a reality When we got to the end and I found out I was one of the ones that boarded this ship that died, I realized that, you know what, how many of those people got on that ship and little did they know that when they got on that ship that before the week was out, they would be at the bottom of the Atlantic. How many of you think they knew that? None of them knew that. None of them knew that. But 1,500 people met their end in a single moment. And I'm just saying to you that we are living like this is some sort of game, and it's not. And it's not. If it's not about your life, you got to think about the people that you're influencing. Just like that boy that saw me when he was 6 years old. I didn't plan on that. I probably had my butt up on my shoulders because nobody was helping me load my equipment. And Jimmy Joe Bob went too long.
That's all right.
That's all I'm thinking about. But I finally had to suck it up and do what I came to do. And evidently the Holy Spirit was able to use that enough to influence that boy forever. Well, let me tell you something. How many people want to go to heaven and have people standing behind you knowing I was the influence in their life? The other side is how many of you want to see a line ushered into hell and you know that you had influence on their life? And you had a chance, just like Ezekiel said, to warn them. And you didn't. And he said, your blood will be required. Their blood will be required for your faith. I just think that's is a big deal. He said, wait to righteousness and do not sin. Well, I'm no sinner. No, you're not. If you're no sinner, you need to get saved today. Amen. If you have sin and you cannot beat it and you want to beat it, you need to be born again. Not of this world, but of this kingdom that I'm talking about. Right. Because sin can be defeated. It's just a choice. Right. It's a choice you make to not do it. To not think it, to not live it. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard. It's what sent Jesus to hell. Right. It's what took his life as our sin. Amen. But it's already been defeated by the blood. Amen. For some do not have the knowledge of God, and he said, I speak this to our shame. Some people in our life don't know Jesus yet, and that's our fault. Next, I want you to bow your heads with me just for a second. Now, like I said, this is not just for you guys. I'm sure this doesn't apply to any of us. But if it does, I'm going to pray for you. I just had to share it. How many of us in this room at one point we were on fire, and now we're just a smoldering ember at best. And we can lay it on our age, our experience, or the things that have happened to us. But we know good and well right now that God's calling us to fan that back to a flame. To fan that thing to such a blaze that people can see our passion for Jesus. How many of you in this room, you know right now that things have crept in our lives that don't need to be there. And it's time to put our foot down today and make an end to these things in our life. And how many of us in this room, if there's anybody at all, would be bold enough to say, something spoke to me and I realize I am not ready to go. I've claimed a relationship with God, or maybe I've played a game of church, but I have never, ever bowed my knee and given him my heart. Well, I'm going to pray for all those people here in a minute. Would you just sit for a minute?